Hi guys, this flashlight has been in my wishlist since I've heard that Wurkkos would release it. I really wanted to compare FC12 with 3 times more expensive Phoenix PD35 version 3, which has the same form factor and LED. FC12 has a lot of attractive features like Type-C charging, convenient user interface, good brightness and awesome throw. All that almost any user would like to get. All this for really affordable price. So let's take a closer look at this flashlight. The usual yellow and white cardboard box, not frankly cheap, but not sort of a good for gift thing either. The price class is immediately visible. Kit includes absolutely all you need: flashlight, 3000 mAh, 18650 battery, Type-C charging cable, lanyard, O-rings, manual. The length of the Wurkkos FC12 is quite large. 136mm length is already the very edge of the EDC segment, but this is a fairly common size for a 2-buttons model. As you can see, I've got an unusual color version. Of course, you can choose classic black or some other colors. Saphir usually don't bother with the design of their models, but their sub-brand Wurkkos pays attention to this. So it is here. Despite playing in the budget league, FC12 looks quite good. Just imagine this body in black color. It would definitely be recognizable and will not get lost against the background of flashlights by some large expensive brands. There is a usual direct click power button in the tail cap, a deep move, tangible click. The flashlight can be disassembled into 3 parts. The thread is normally lubricated. There are quite thick springs at both sides. Unlike similar size big brands models, FC12 lets you use flat top batteries, and spring at head also helps to withstand gun recoil if you decide to gun mount flashlight. The knurling is unusual, reminded me of a sturgeon. It is undoubtedly convenient and tenacious even when clip is detached. The head is long with tiny symbolic cooling fins. The button is convenient and easy to find. Button has a traditional red-green indicator backlight. A Type-C charge connector is covered with a thick plug. Having got used to 2-3 amperes in 21700s models, it is somehow difficult to say yeah, good when see 1 ampere charging. But nevertheless, this is a completely normal current for 18650 flashlights. It can charge almost any battery in like 3 hours. The reflector is small, shallow, quite typical in size for an EDC model. At the bottom of the smooth reflector you can see an interesting in combination of good brightness and throw LED, luminous SFT40. Quite rare and promising model. So far so good. Awesome design and visible build quality for its price. The flashlight has a good recognizable appearance, a convenient button and a good reliable grip. User interface is okay here too. It is very pleasing that the manufacturer thought about both the ordinary user who gets classic user interface with preset modes and about advanced user who will enjoy the smooth adjustment brightness. And time has come to say about some sad things. Saphir Wurkkos again managed to screw up with a perfect model. Well, there is no full brightness stabilization here and I'm ready to say never mind to this. But there is an aggressive thermoregulation zigzags and I hate them. Again, there is the same size Phoenix PD35 version 3 which I've already mentioned. It has the same LED as well, the same size. PD35 version 3 is really worse in any single feature besides stabilization. Phoenix is normally stabilized up to a slightly less bright high mode. I'm sure that the thermoregulation threshold of FC12 needs to be raised. This should significantly improve the situation. A flashlight with a body of this size shouldn't have problems with 800 lumens of high mode. But when it comes to light itself, everything is totally fine. Besides, of course, cold light from SFT40 LED. Unfortunately, there is simply no choice of color temperature for this LED now, but there is a choice of color tint. And while $100 model of Phoenix with the same LED just gives you unbelievably green tint, $25 Wurkkos FC12 gives you pure and clear cool white light without any parasitic tints. And one more thing, as you can see, SFT40 provides with an awesome throw even when installed in such a shallow reflector. I would say that 250 meters is already a functional limit for SFT40 in such an optic, which is a really good throw considering an overall size of Wurkkos FC12. Maybe it will be possible to talk about 400 meters throw when you use flashlight in complete darkness to somehow highlight the general contours or catch glare from a white object. But again, guys, this is a pocket EDC flashlight. What kind of 400 meters throw can we talk about here? And my overall impression. Frankly, I don't understand how and why Safirin again managed to screw up a model which is so potentially good. This is not the first time it happens, and I bet not the last, unfortunately. They released a really cool flashlight, affordable, with convenient and reliable grip, with good user interface, if two buttons models are okay for you. Just sort of model that you would pick to give away to your dad or a friend, and also what an experienced user would use without getting pissed off. But it turned out the same as with the compact long-range novelty Safirin EF12A, which I reviewed quite recently. For some unknown reasons, the manufacturer decided that it wasn't worth making a flashlight that was absolutely wonderful for its price, and it was necessary to screw up a little so that the flashlight was just good. So they just decided to get rid of brightness stabilization and jump and down on a roller coaster of an active thermoregulation instead. Well, results is good anyway, good even with all that I've mentioned, and an ordinary user is likely to be happy with FC12. After all, I repeat, there is everything you would like to get from a flashlight in terms of brightness, range and ease of use and speed of charging. Close range use of course will not be convenient, but in my experience of communicating with an ordinary users, they will always prefer some extra throw to the convenience of close range work. You can just walk around with FC12 and be able to, take a look at this, at this tree. It will fit in your pocket and will not tear a hole in your wallet in any way. The price tag for a complete kit is absolutely affordable for any user in almost any country. But for most of aforementioned experienced users, I'm sure that the zigzags of the graph of higher brightness will become sort of deal killer. However, there is a Safirin SP35 for such users, or actually even better, a Wurkkos TS21, the EDC flashlight that I personally use every day and happy with. I think that 18600 battery 2 buttons EDC flashlight looks like sort of a retro model for the taste of experienced users. There is almost no SFT40 LED flashlights now, and I can compare Wurkkos FC12 only with its full analog Phoenix PD35 version 3, and for me the latter loses in everything except stabilization and thermoregulation, features that you wouldn't expect Phoenix to be better at. But Phoenix should be more reliable, I cannot deny it. I'm always ready to kick Phoenix. I wish this kick would give them acceleration and the right direction, but their flashlights are actually reliable, and I'm confident in advance that PD35 version 3 will also be indestructible. Only long-time use will show how reliable Wurkkos FC12 is. But with such a colossal difference in price, you can close your eyes on this. In general, Wurkkos FC12 turned out to be another inexpensive and remarkable in terms of light and user interface model for an ordinary user, and actually for user advanced as well. But again, even an advanced user will not be disappointed with this flashlight, I believe. I'm sure that the disadvantages that are important to the experienced user here, an ordinary user will likely not notice. If you already own FC12, I appreciate if you share your opinions in comments. That's all, guys, actually.